Have you ever had an argument with a friend or a sibling about how best to divide something between the two of you in a fair way? Maybe you had to divide the last slice of a delicious cake, or perhaps you had to share your packed lunch with a friend. How did you find the best way to do this? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Today's tale is a Mayan story. The ancient Mayan people came mainly from the countries of Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, and Honduras. And this story is about two friends, Rabbit and Crab, who have a terrible disagreement about how best to divide a crop of carrots that they have grown together. Let's see how they try and settle the argument. Before we begin, if you would like to download some free colouring sheets for our episodes, you can do so by going to www.journeywithstory.com. And a huge thanks to all of you who have been sharing this podcast with others and taking the time to rate and review it as well. We really appreciate you sharing this with others. Now, let's take a journey with Rabbit and Crab. Once upon a time, two good friends, Rabbit and Crab, decided to grow some carrots. For many days they worked together. They dug up a field. They chose the carrot seeds with great care. They planted them in the soil and watered them every day until the shoots began to sprout up. Then, every week, they made sure to dig up the weeds and keep watch until at last, one day, it was time to harvest the crop and separate the tops from the carrots. And this is when things began to go awry. That just means very badly, because they could not agree on how best to divide the crop between the two of them. Rabbit tried to trick Crab with some sweet talk. You see, friend Crab, that we have two piles consisting of different sizes. The larger one is for you, and I'll take the small one. Crab looked at the two piles and saw at once that the biggest pile was all carrot tops, and the smaller pile had all the big, juicy carrots. "Oh, thank you, Rabbit, good friend," he said. "But I have a better plan. Why don't I divide the piles in half, and you choose which you want? Or you divide the piles, and I choose." Rabbit suspected that Crab was trying to confuse him. "Oh, no, I cannot agree to that," he said. "I have a better idea. Let's walk over to that big cactus over there and then race back here. The first one to get back here gets the carrots and the other gets the tops. What do you think of that?" Crab thought about it for a moment. Then, smiling, he said, "Yes, I will agree to that. It seems fair to me." "At last we're in agreement," said Rabbit. He was very happy because he was sure he was going to win. "I'm so pleased about this that if you win, I'm prepared to give you all the carrots and all the tops. Do you agree?" "I agree," repeated the Crab. "There's one other thing," added Rabbit. "Since I know you are slower than me, I'm going to give you a 10-pace head start." He had no doubt that he would win this race and soon be munching away on a big pile of juicy carrots. "Mr. Rabbit, my friend, thank you very much. But that's too much. I cannot accept that, said Crab, pretending that he didn't want to take advantage of Rabbit. You're the one that ought to have a 10-pace start. Go on now. I won't take no for an answer. Rabbit chuckled to himself. I gave him a chance, he thought, and he argued no more about it. So, when they reached the big cactus, Rabbit and Crab turned to face the piles of carrots and green tops in the distance. Then Rabbit took 10 paces forward. But he did not notice that Crab, who was neither lazy or slow, had grabbed his tail with his claws and was hanging on tight. Ready, steady, go, shouted Rabbit as he bounded off, running like the wind. In no time at all, he reached the pile of carrots and turned around quickly, thinking that he had left Crab far behind in the dust. But just as he turned his head, Crab opened his claws and fell right on top of the mound of carrots. Where are you, Mr. Crab, my friend? Rabbit shouted, pretending to be most concerned. Oh, here I am, said a voice behind him. I've been here for ages. Rabbit could not believe his eyes. He spun around and stared at Crab, sitting on the huge pile of carrots. But, how, what? Stammered Rabbit. There, dear friend Rabbit, soothed Crab. I won't see you go hungry. I can be generous too. You can have as many of those carrot tops as you wish. Help yourself. Rabbit turned around and stomped off home, furious that he had let himself be tricked. And no matter how hard he tried, he still could not figure out how a slow coach of a crab was able to beat him. And that is how Crab got to keep all of the carrots for himself. Well, does this story remind you of another one about two animals who challenge each other to a race, and it ends up that the slowest one wins? Yes, it's very like the hare and the tortoise, isn't it? Did you guess how Crab was going to win the race, or was it a surprise? He was definitely a very clever and crafty crab, wasn't he? Now, if this story painted any pictures in your mind, do get busy drawing and send us them at www.journeywithstory.com. And I do hope that the next time you have to divide something with a friend or a brother or a sister, that you find a better way of doing it than Rabbit and Crab. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.